What's up, guys? Before we get into this episode, I just want to say we have a Patreon, and it's where all the footage that we don't post anywhere else goes right here. You get to find out what guests we have on before anybody else. You get full episodes 2 days earlier before anybody else. You get clips where we get naughty here. You get Moist Cheeks After Dark. So subscribe to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/moistcheeks. Again, that's patreon.com/moistcheeks. It really does help. Here's the episode. Welcome back to another episode of the Moist Cheeks podcast. What's up, guys?
Ew, dude.
What have you guys been up to? I know you've had a couple late night adventures. I don't know if Damon knows about them. I kind of heard.
Yeah, so I had, not last night, two nights ago, and then 3 nights ago, I've been matching with Tinder girls left and right and inviting them to our house.
Mostly right. You know.
Yeah, and mostly for my forbidden website content.
Oh, wait, did you film?
Yeah.
For OnlyFans?
Yeah.
Nice.
He doesn't fuck without filming it. Have you learned?
It's all business.
And so the second one, I told you, what was it, yesterday? I was like, oh, what do you like to do for fun? And she's like, well, not really anything, but I like to watch ghost adventures and ghost hunting stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, God, here we go. I was like, what crew do you watch? And she's like, oh, TFIL, Elton and his friends. I was like, God damn it. You know, and I was like, those are my friends. And she's like, get the fuck out of here. I was like, yeah, I mean.
Wait, friends?
Yeah. I was like, yeah, we filmed a series with them last year. And she was just like, oh, my God, I didn't even know. And then we put on Send It City. And
of course, because you can't just not brag about your shit.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Jeez. If I was the chick and I was like, oh my God, like this guy is kind of cool, and then he puts on his own fucking shit, I'm like, my pussy is getting drier by the second.
Wait. Is that... Dude, I used to do that all the time.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
You want to watch what I do?
Yeah.
Of course you did.
Yeah. And then, before she came over, I was like, hey, do you have any toys? She's like, yeah, I have a whole bunch.
Yeah, Buzz Lightyear and Woody.
Yeah, and I was like, bring them over. And she brings over her big purse of toys, and it's just like all butt stuff, you know. Like,
also, we're supposed to talk for only 2 minutes. We're just
Yeah. Okay, guys, our guest today on the Moist Cheeks podcast is a super talented and interesting individual. She's a writer, comedian, podcaster, businesswoman, and her mother is the judge who put OJ Simpson in the clink. She's a huge advocate of marijuana and the host of the Chronic Relief podcast.
Wait, OJ Simpson, he's not in jail.
The clink. Isn't the clink like not... That's not jail, right?
Yeah, the clink is jail.
Since when? The clink was always been like the mental institution.
No, I'm pretty sure the clink is jail.
The
clink. Guys, let's give it up for Rachel Wolfson.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, first of all, Rachel, I just want to say thank you.
That's a
for
fat
coming.
blunt.
Yeah, seriously. Thank you for coming on.
It really does.
Yeah, of course. It really does mean a lot to us. She was the second one that I hit up. It was Tommy first, and then Rachel. And right away, she agreed.
Why? I don't know.
I'm usually people's like first guest for their like experimental podcast to see if they want to continue on or not. So I'm honored to be like a make it or break it type of guest, you know?
Yeah.
I wonder how many podcasts I've ruined so far. Hopefully not this one.
Man. Yeah, right away. And I honestly don't know how I'm getting so lucky with these people agreeing to be guests on our show.
Because you're hot.
That's exactly why.
Yeah. She posted something on Instagram maybe like a month now when I was in LA, and it was like people that leave LA to go to Texas should have to audition to come back into LA. I that one hit me personally.
Yeah. Okay, first off, it wasn't Texas specifically. It was people who move away from LA should have to audition to come back.
Yeah, but your caption was everything in Texas is bigger except for the opportunities.
Right. Because I originally posted that joke a while ago, but it was just funny. Or yeah, I think it was like right as the pandemic was happening, and like everyone was just like exiting LA, like massive exodus. And I was like, okay, if you guys are leaving, like you're not going to just be able to come. We have to jump you in like again.
Yeah.
No, that seriously, it hit me so hard because literally 3 weeks before you posted that, I left LA and moved to Texas. Only like there's a very long story behind it, but just mostly financial and just trying to be smart with what we're trying to do. And so when you posted that, it made me laugh.
I support it. I support anyone who moves away. I just don't support you coming back. Just kidding.
Yeah. And so with our podcast, we usually have cheetah print. You know, not as much as we have today.
Oh my God. The cheetah print is on fucking overload. My God. And my autism is flaring up.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So she posted a picture with her wearing cheetah print pants. And I was like, yo, those pants are fire. And
fire.
Yeah. And she's like, well, you could borrow them anytime. And I was like, I already have a pair. So
don't worry.
So I wore them today.
Oh my God! Wow,
yeah. So our cheetah print is a little overboard today, but it's just for you, dude.
You can never have enough.
I'm so jealous about this one. I've been looking for one in my size.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
My buddy got this off of like an Asian website, and it's like an XL or a double XL, but it like fits me perfect because the sizes are like way off.
Yeah.
I know I bought a blazer from wish.com and I was like, I have no clue what size I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna order.
Wish.
Yeah. So then I got like the second largest and it was like way too small. I was like sick.
Yeah.
I saw the weirdest thing advertised. The Wish has the like weirdest advertisements. Have you seen like there's like there's something like something for your dick that like I never even knew you could have before. That's not sexual. It's just purely like for, I don't know, just existing in the world. I don't know.
Dude, no joke. I saw a Wish ad where it was like Saddam Hussein was the picture and it was like $5. I was like, I have I'm 100% serious. I have no clue what the product was because I'm not clicking on that. But it was the face of Saddam Hussein, $5, wish.com.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, so Rachel, I like when we have guests, I like to do a little bit of research just so I'm prepared, you know. And every single fucking either podcast or interview, obviously they talk about your mom and your dad and your sister, you know, being the Stern family, and your mom was the one that put OJ in the clink.
Sure.
So I don't want to get too much into that, but it wasn't for the while he was murdering or what? Okay, well, he was allegedly did to his wife. It was for the member. He was trying to steal his own memorabilia, right?
Yeah, no, my mom is not Lance Ito. Although people do ask me if my mom is Lance Ito, and I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. No, she was his judge for the robbery case in Vegas, that armed robbery and kidnapping case. That was in Vegas. I don't remember what date it was, but all those years ago. And she was the judge that presided over the trial, and the jury found him guilty, and he went away for 9 years. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
didn't even know that.
How old were you at that point?
I was in college. I was in my 20s. I was like early 20s.
Did that happen in the 2000s?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Was it?
It was when I was watching TMZ, so I know it's like mid 2000s.
Yeah. But you said you were away at college.
Yeah, I was living in Florida. No. Okay, so when he got arrested, I was living in Vermont. I was in college there. I went to like 3 different high schools and 3 different colleges.
So did this guy. He went to 3 different colleges as well.
Yeah, but I dropped out of all of them.
I just wasn't good at school, and like So I started in Vermont, and then I graduated with like an associate's. It was, just your undergrad. And then I transferred to Washington, D.C. because I was trying to follow I was trying to listen to what my parents wanted me to do. I didn't, I wasn't confident in my inner voice yet, because your parent, you still let your parents guilt trip you and stuff. And so I moved to DC for a year. So OJ got arrested when I was in Vermont. I graduated. I went to DC for a year, and then the trial started when I moved down to Florida to finish up school. So I went from like the smartest place to like the dumbest place, but then I was smart. So, in DC, I was the dumbest person in all of my classes. And in Florida, I was on par.
Well, I also went to 3 different colleges, but the difference between me is at that point in my life, I was strung out on heroin. So I just dropped out out of every school just because I was too dope sick to go to class. So I just dropped out. I went to this college in Florida, this like music school, dropped out of that after 6 months after paying the full tuition in cash. And then I went to, I decided it'd be a great idea to get my CDL license and drive trucks. And,
a lot of money.
Yeah. But I feel like I would just still be hooked on cocaine and just smoking lots of meth.
Strippers.
Yeah.
I mean, ladies of the night.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then I went to the community college in Connecticut and dropped out of that one too.
Whoa, you did the opposite tour.
Yeah. Opposite, complete opposite. And I'm kind of glad that it didn't work out that way. I'm glad like none of those schools worked out because my life today is amazing and I'm so happy. And but I also lived in Vermont for a few years too. Yeah. I lived up in Burlington.
Okay.
Yeah, for like 2 years, and I was homeless up there for about a year, and it was gnarly, man. The snows up there are no joke.
Yeah, it would be gnarly to be homeless anywhere in the Northeast in the winter.
Yeah. What part of Vermont were you at?
I was in southern Vermont in a town called Putney, but it was like on the border of Keene, New Hampshire.
Okay, yep.
So
I feel like I'm dropping in on like a first date. Like this conversation is like what you talk about on first dates.
How's it going though? Do you think I'm gonna get laid?
I mean, 4 out of 10 on the scale, probably.
4 out of 10?
Yeah, dude.
I mean, got a good shot.
You have to have standards, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, my standards are not that high right now. My standards were way high for the longest time, and then lately it's just been bottom of the barrel.
Jeez, fucking woman shaming on this podcast.
Oh, Jesus, I'm sorry. So, what, like, having a family like that, just so stern and being in that kind of world, what the fuck made you want to like not do what they do and go into comedy?
I was like a funny kid. I was, I never really fit in whatever I was doing. I was an outcast at school in a sense of like, I had ADHD. I was the kid that was always going to take medication from the nurse, and like, none of my friends or anyone I knew had to like go through that. It was I just always felt like, I had friends, but I always felt different. Right. And so, I think there was this expectation, me being the older child, it's me and my sister, that I was going to follow in their footsteps. And I never like desired to put people in jail. I don't know. I just like never, but also I know there's so much more to that. Like my dad started off as a prosecutor and was a public defender and has worked on all sides of the law, and same with my mom and same with my sister. So it is actually good to like work all different sides because you get to know different perspectives, but that just never appealed to me. And it was a lot of failing. It was a lot of doing what other people expected of me. Because, when you come from a family like that, being different is not really celebrated, Mm-hmm. And I think it took a while for my parents to accept me as like, I am me and they are them, and that's okay. So I think, yeah, just like a lot of failing upward and downward and sideward. I went to college, and I was lucky that, you know, I have an education, and I don't knock it, but I also don't think it's for everyone. And I don't think we should be encouraging people to get into student debt and like owe the government and live like that kind of life simply because like that's what our society says. I think there are people who can be successful and not have necessarily a college education. Like there's trade schools and whatnot. And, you know, I think we don't celebrate the arts enough in this society. Like we do serve a purpose, you know, and so basically what ultimately led me to comedy was a corporate job. Oddly enough, I was working corporate comedy. I was working for a company that owns a bunch of comedy clubs. And at this point, when I was in college in Florida, I started going to stand-up comedy shows at the Palm Beach Improv and the Fort Lauderdale Improv. So I had, you know, fell in love with going to see stand-up. And as a kid, I took improv and I did drama and I liked that, but it was never really encouraged by my parents. It was more just like, go to school, you know, do sports. And that was that. So when I ended up leaving Florida, because I had worked ever since I was 15 in the hospitality, being born and raised in Vegas. I worked at the hotels. I worked through college at restaurants. And when I was living in Florida, I fell into marketing. I got a master's degree in marketing. So I started, you know, learning how to market anything and everything. And I did all kinds of marketing, everything from in-house corporate marketing to working for food trucks and being like a food truck promo girl. Like there was no job that was like above me. And so through all of that, I was able to start my own marketing kind of like side business where, you know, I ran social media and helped brand people, and I learned how to do all that. So that was when I was like living in Florida. I was in my early 20s. And so at one point, I had graduated with my master's. I was living in Florida, and mind you, you know, Florida is like a place where people go to die or like to evade paying taxes. Like either way, you know, that's where you end up. It's not really where you want to like start your life. And it's just like, I was lucky because I graduated and I was working in a restaurant, and the owner of the restaurant decided to hire me to work for his organic pizza corporation. Right. So like, I'm a stoner. I just graduated college. Like I got a job. My boss is dope. And I just like did that for a couple of years, and I was like unfulfilled because there's nowhere to like go from there. Like I just like whatever. So I ended up moving to LA with, he supported it and was like, you can do social media from there for my company for a couple of years. So that was really cool. So I got to like have that, you know, I came here with a job, and, I wanted to work in entertainment, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I figured if I just got here, it would find me. So I worked a bunch of jobs here, marketing this, marketing that, you know, and I ended up applying for that job that was at the comedy company that I was to be the social media manager for all of like the improvs, like the Hollywood Improv, Brea. Like I was that girl, and it was like, wow, like finally I'm marketing something that I love. Like I never really got to do that before besides the pizza, you know, like I was literally marketing shit. I hate, like I work for a tanning salon. Like I would sell death, you know what I mean? Like I'm literally selling shit that I, you know, like I wouldn't necessarily, whatever. So it was that was cool. Mind you, I've always been about the weed. Like I started really smoking weed in college, and like, if anyone asked about me, they would know that I'm just like a stoner chick. So like I was building that side up, like really heavily getting into the plant. I was very interested in like the advocacy side of that. So at this point, like all of these different aspects of my life were like, and I didn't know it yet, coming together to like support what would ultimately be like what I'm doing now. And it was really crazy how everything was so connected. But like, I, you know, at the time, it just all seemed so disastrous on so many levels. And like, also I had to deal with like my parents accepting that like, you know, I'm getting into cannabis and it's still not like legal here yet. It's, or in Vegas, and my mom's still, you know, my dad's a district attorney and my sister's a prosecutor, and my, you know, so like all of this is all going on. And finally, when I get to LA and I start like, you know, and I'm working in that comedy job, and that's where I start my memes page. That's where I start, you know, my branding for cannabis. And I was in a relationship at the time, you know, and I'm going through a breakup, and my job at the comedy corporate company was ending as far as my contract with them. But I had come to a point in my life where inside of me, it just screamed stand up. It screamed like, get on stage, take whatever pain you have, this unfulfillment, and just like place it somewhere with no expectation. Cause like, that's kind of what I was looking for. It's like, I'm working all these hours. I come home, I'm still working cause it's social media. It just like, mind you, like I had tried to get into stand-up a couple years before, but was also in a bad relationship he just didn't really encourage or support me doing that. So like, you know, when you don't have a self-esteem and someone already is like, you know, not encouraging you, you listen. So at this point, stand-up was just screaming so loudly inside me that I asked them to, if they would let me bartend at the Improv, because I had bartending experience, and there it would put me in the club, and I would be learning, because part of, you know, studying comedy is studying the greats, you know, and really like immersing yourself in comedy. So that's kind of the long story or short story, depending. Sorry for that long-winded response.
No, thank you. Yeah.
There's no quick way. There's no quick way to like explain that. I don't know.
No, totally.
Now a word from our sponsors.
This episode is sponsored by True Boy Barbecue. Some of the best meat I've ever had in my life.
Aw, I thought I was the best meat
Nope,
you've ever had.
True Boy's better.
Even with this awesome smoked barbecue sauce?
Even with that smoked barbecue sauce. Guys, this is some of the best meat I've ever had in my life, especially this barbecue sauce. And I even said it off air right before we were doing this ad, that this is some of the best fucking barbecued meat I've ever had.
It's honestly a 12 out of 10.
12 out of 10. True Boy Barbecue. Fully smoked, authentic Texas barbecue delivered right to your doorstep. Anywhere in the U.S. Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Kansas,
the
Wisconsin.
Nowhere, Kingsville.
I'm not from Kansas.
Free 2-day shipping for all orders over $150. Easy heating instructions.
Every time on easy eating instructions.
It's a tongue twister, bro. Say that 3 times fast.
Easy heating instructions. Easy heating instructions. Easy heating instructions.
Don't you forget it.
Don't you fucking forget it. And that's the best part, because we're 3 fucking idiots.
Yes.
We could barely read.
Yeah.
Kyler can't cook. I could cook a little bit. I've never even seen Kyler pick up a fork.
I'm not Kyler.
Damn.
Oh my God, dude.
Do you know who I am?
It comes fully seasoned, fully prepared. All you got to do is fucking throw it in the oven, bada bing, bada boom, and it's ready to eat.
Yeah, dude.
Slap a little of this fucking jism sauce on
Dude,
there.
it's seriously Texas barbecue experience in the comfort of your own home. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to leave your house. You can get this shit delivered straight to your door. You could freeze it for later, or you could eat it right away.
Let's eat it right away.
Eat it right away. That's what we do, because we're all fat.
I'm gonna steal some off your plate.
Easy smoked meat without any hassle. Every time I try to eat other meats, there's so much hassle.
Yeah.
So much fucking hassle.
Yeah, like the balls get in the way.
Yeah, dude. Everything. It's just, it's a pain in the ass. So the True Boy experience, there's no hassle. Go to trueboybarbecue.com. That's TRUBOYBBQ.com. Trueboybarbecue.com.
Trueboybarbecue.com.
Back to the show. What now, with your first time ever going on stage performing stand up, because I'm sure I could speak for all three of us that stand up is something that we really, really enjoy. And
oh yeah,
and it's always been something that I would want to try.
Yeah, I'm fucking terrified though
yeah,
of doing it.
Exactly.
But like it'd be great to do it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Not a lot of things scare me, but public speaking and especially trying to be funny on stage in front of a bunch of people, that fucking terrifies me, and it makes my palms sweat just thinking about it. What goes through your head at the time, your very first time standing on stage? Do you bomb? Do you kill it? Do you have expectations? Do you come prepared, you know, or is it just like, fuck it, I'm winging it, let's go?
Do you smoke weed beforehand?
Well, I was definitely probably high. The first time I stepped on stage was an open mic in the Valley at this place called The Cork. And it was exciting. I just remembered I was nervous, but I was like, I'm excited because I was with a bunch of other like young comics and we were all kind of there to support each other. And so it didn't feel as like scary, I guess. And I had, from, like school and stuff, like I enjoyed getting up in front of the class and public speaking. So I had that background and comfortability. Like there's so much that goes on when you get on stage. It's like level of comfortability and then like coming with material and then like being okay if you don't get laughs. Like, how do you recover from that? Like there's like so much of when you first start out is just like getting comfortable on stage. Like I feel like I'm still doing that. Like I'm 4 years in and 4 years because of the pan, but like 5 years in, I started in 2016, but I'm still like, after basically not being consistent for a whole year because of COVID. Cause like when I started, like I didn't stop. Like that means like I'm at the mics, which are basically the gyms for comedy, open mics every single day, multiple mics. Cause you have to get your 10,000 hours in, to become like an expert at anything. And it takes a long time.
So, is that what it is? 10,000 hours?
10,000 hours to be an expert on anything.
To be an expert?
Yeah. Which isn't actually that much.
Like 10 years.
That's 10,000 podcasts.
It's not 10 years. It's like 2. 2? Yeah. It's 2 years. Like 2.5.
On how much you like, it depends on how much you do it, right? Like how many hours can you fit in a day doing it? Like
I've heard people say both 10 years or 10,000 hours. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. Gnarly, dude. That's 10,000 podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the bar for podcasts is super low.
Especially our bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wanna swing back to you said you grew up with anxiety, right? Or bipolar or both?
So I was diagnosed at 5 with ADHD and put on Adderall and Ritalin. And then when I was 12, I was diagnosed bipolar, but I think I was misdiagnosed. In the process of that, I was also misdiagnosed Asperger's. And the last diagnosis I received, which I do think I have, is borderline personality disorder. But yeah,
our manager has that borderline personality disorder. Yeah, because
it's a hot disease.
Yeah, so the reason why
everyone I know thought
the reason why I asked that is because I know for myself I was diagnosed with way back in the day with anxiety and depression, and they loaded me up with I want to say it was Adderall, and then for my depression they gave me I forget what they gave me for my depression, and then also I was prescribed Valium, and that was, I want to say this was my early teens, and that was a stepping stone for like once I got the Valium, it was a stepping stone for me to like really, I'm a fucking drug addict, like, so I love consuming whatever drug it is, and once I got the Valium, it was like, holy fuck, I love this so much, and it just I went off the rails. Went off running. And luckily with you, obviously that didn't happen, but do you think that any of that contributed into you loving weed?
I had my experiences with medication like have been relatively negative for the most part. Like I have taken so many different types. Like I was medicated for things that I didn't have. And that stuff is like really, really dangerous. And who knows how it's not dangerous, but it's serious. And I think it can help some people. I just think we come from that generation where they just handed out pills like candy. And we're all just like science experiments. I think obviously weed does replace a lot of those medications that I was on. But I don't necessarily think that's the answer for everyone either.
Totally. Now when you were prescribed all these medications, when you were taking them, did you feel normal, or were they like really turning you into a zombie?
I used to take this one pill called Seroquel, and that's a tranquilizer. I was 17 years old, and my parents sent me to this lockdown in Utah, in Provo, Utah, called Discovery. Yeah.
Fucking Mormon capital.
Yeah. And this place was ran by all Mormons. It was it was like a student or a youth, like residential therapy program, I guess, but also kids were court ordered there. So like, and we couldn't leave, like there were bars on the windows, like it was a full on lockdown. And so, I was on Seroquel there, and I remember we have to like deep clean once, like every day, but like, I was like vacuuming the stairs and I fell asleep. Like I was just, I just could not stay awake. Yeah. I couldn't stay awake, you know?
Now, how long were you, till what age were you on the prescriptions?
they started with Adderall when I was 5. And then when I was 24, I was able to come off all pharmaceuticals.
Is that when you started smoking weed?
I started smoking weed when I was 19. So, I was smoking weed on the medications, and I was drinking. But there was a lot of time where I wasn't doing any of that. I just, I don't know. I just remember feeling that I didn't like how the medicines made me feel, but also like, on so many different levels, you know?
Yeah. What?
Did it take a while for your parents to accept that you were getting off that medication and just using weed to help you out with your diagnosis?
I do think it took, I mean, it definitely, like, it was a whole process, but I approached it from like a very clear-headed, educated, like supportive, like I'm doing this with the guidance of a doctor. We're going to taper down, medically the way that I'm supposed to. And I have a whole support group set up. I have my therapist, I have them, like, this is my plan. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to exercise. Like, I had everything set up so they knew that I was very serious about doing this the right way. And that, like, I needed to know for myself that I could live a life medication free if I wanted to. And also as an adult experience, like who I am, who am I, flaws and all, what does that mean? And can I work through whatever, it is that I'm dealing with on a therapeutic level that I don't need medication. And I'm still finding that out.
Yeah.
You with you doing stand-up, I could only just imagine, like, my anxiety would just go through the fucking roof while on stage.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
The other day, my boyfriend and I, he's a comedian as well. His name's Matt. We got booked to do stand-up right before roast battle at the store. And so we both get 5 minutes. And I had told him that, like, I wasn't going to smoke that day because I just want to be clear-headed. I don't want to be high before my spot at the store. So we did 3 open mics. And then we went up and did our spots at the store. And as soon as I got on stage, I just like broke out into a sweat. Like, talk about moist cheeks. I was moist everything. Like, there was not one part of my body. I couldn't even hide it. The lights were so bright. I was wearing flannel And like my moisturizer is just pure oil. So I'm just baking like in the fucking sun. And I'm 5 minutes, like not like 5 seconds into those 5 minutes, I'm dripping. Like I could see the sweat dripping onto the floor like a gym.
Oh man, God,
and
dude,
so
that's terrifying.
I get off stage and Matt, like, he like goes to like embrace me and I'm soaked, right? That's my anxiety manifesting itself into physical form, right? And I do this every night, but it was just like, that's the store. I love the store, you know, like I just, it's like, it got me. And then last night we did a great show at a weed, like, studio. And I smoked 3 blunts before I got on stage and had a great time. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's something I am also having. Like, I want to be able to get on stage and manage those nerves organically, not with weed. Like, I do think that is something I want to do.
Yeah.
But
did you always have an interest in comedy growing up? Like when you were young?
I always loved comedy. I always love laughing. I love comedy movies. I liked watching stand-up. I liked laughing. I liked being funny. Like I was the class clown. Like I was the one that the teacher would say something and I would hear the beat and I would say something out. It's like, I would say that inappropriate thing that's supposed to like be there. And people would tell me I'm funny, but I never knew, you never know what to do with that. You know what I mean? Like when you're constantly told like you're fun, but you just, okay, like what does someone do with that? Right? Like, that's just something like, I just knew, but I also like, I never thought of it as like a skill, you know, I never thought of it as like, oh, I could make money off of that someday. So yeah, I mean,
if I was to ask you your top 3 favorite comedians, who would they be?
It's whoever's nice to me.
That's a good answer. No, but like your influences, like growing up.
Right. Well, I mean, I love Chris Rock. I just always remember watching him as a kid. Arsenio Hall. Woo, 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 woo. I always watched that as a kid with my dad, like late night. Jerry Seinfeld. I mean, like Larry David. I mean, there's just like, there's so many legends. And then as I got older, I got to appreciate even more. Like I love Patrice O'Neill. I love Bill Burr. Felipe Esparza. He's one of my mentors. He's so fucking funny. You know, just spoiled. I'm just spoiled. You know, and there's so much good comedy. Obviously Dave Chappelle, brilliant. Like, and they're all so different. You know, it's like, if you want stories, if you want jokes, if you want, you know, like you can find different comedians you love for different reasons.
Yeah, totally. What about you, Damon?
Dude, I don't know. Like Paul Mooney died.
I know.
Yesterday.
That was yesterday, right? Yeah.
So sad, man. I watched his analyzing white people special, and I was like, this is gold.
It's genius.
It's so good because like it's 2021 and that's still relevant.
Yeah, that's
what's amazing about comedians. They're the new prophets, right? Because like something you can watch Richard Pryor bit from the 70s and it still relates today.
Yeah,
that is actually
George Carlin.
Yes,
George Carlin is amazing. He's my top 3 for sure.
Everyone, whenever you see someone getting canceled on social media, I always see a comment underneath. It's like, what would George Carlin say?
Yeah.
I would have to say my top 3 would be Carlin, Pryor, and I think Chappelle.
Yeah, Chappelle's definitely up there.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. So do you still work at a weed dispensary?
I don't work at a weed dispensary anymore, but my boyfriend does. So it's like we have someone in the family.
Well, how long were you working there for? What's working at a dispensary like? Like, do you get like crazy customers like you would at a bar or something? Like,
it's so funny. Okay, so I worked at 2 different dispensaries. I worked at a dispensary before Recreation here in LA. That one no longer exists. And I think, and then I worked at another dispensary as we were transitioning from rec to legal. So I got to see that process. And that was that's Dr. Dina's shop, Oz WeHo, that still exists. So like, shout out to anyone who lives in LA, go visit them. They're dope. And Dr. Dina is a legend. You should look her up if you care. She's like what the character Weeds, the show Weeds was based off. It's like based off her life. So yeah,
I don't watch TV.
I know what it is, but go on.
But there was the dispensary I worked at when it was transitioning. I was also bartending at the Improv. So I was working at a bar and a dispensary at the same time. So I really got to see like the customers. Like, I don't know. I just feel like they're annoying they're both annoying and dope in different ways. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing really good when you mix like drunk people with you know, alcohol gets involved. But sometimes conversations can also go on for a long time at the dispensary, you know?
Yeah. Back in the day, working at a dispensary would have been a dream job for me.
You would have been the worst employee. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's so corporate now. It's not cool. Like back before when it was like, you know, when it wasn't legal, dope. Now, like, it's like any other job.
Yeah.
Like
what
they have
I
like
know
employee
is,
of the month.
sorry.
Employee of the month.
Yo, what I would know is like your boyfriend's a stand-up, right? So what is it like living with another stand-up? I feel like you guys just like busting each other's chops like all the time. Do you like go over bits together? Like what is that like? Is it annoying? Because I bet it's fucking annoying.
It's dope because Matt, he's a paid regular at the Comedy Store. He's been doing it for like 14 years. So he's got like 10 years on me. And so he's like, also a mentor to me. And it's very helpful. He's extremely supportive, like to the point where other comics notice how supportive we are of each other. Like last night at the show, a comic came up and was like, normally I don't approve of comic relationships, but like, I like this.
Yeah. Do you guys get competitive at all?
No, we don't get competitive, babe.
No.
Because there's like, there's nothing like, if he gets a spot, like we get a spot. You know?
We do so many shows together.
This is Matt.
What's up, Matt? Hey, welcome to the Moist Cheeks podcast.
How moist are your cheeks?
First time listener, first time guest.
Hold on. Before we go any further, what do you think of the name Moist Cheeks?
It's pretty nasty.
I think that's what
what kind of podcast are you doing, babe?
I started talking.
And you do that all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, welcome, Matt. Thanks for coming on. Hell yeah.
I was just gonna say, because we do a lot of shows together, and you know how it is. It's like all about drawing. It's like we want to draw. So to me, Rachel does good, we do good, and vice versa. Yeah. It all goes into the same pot. So I can't let her suck. I need her to be.
Except in the bedroom, though.
The bomb. Yeah, in the bedroom. Good call. There's a place.
Yeah.
That's not on the stage. I don't want her to bomb and then she comes up to me and I'm just like the guy that's with the unfunny girl, you know, like.
The first time I performed in front of him, I was so nervous because I was like, oh my God, like what if he doesn't think I'm funny?
Yeah, you had a lot to lose.
Oh my God, if I'm not funny, he won't sleep with me. Oh, fuck.
I knew he would still sleep with me, but he wouldn't. In public.
I've slept with a bunch of unfunny girls. I ain't stopping now. See you later.
Yeah, man. Nice meeting you. Hell yeah.
Legend.
Yeah. So we were originally supposed to film this episode, like 3 weeks ago now, maybe?
Just expose her, jeez.
Yeah, I'm exposing it. And then we were going to film, like, we were a couple days away, and then she DMs me. She's like, hey, fuck Moist Cheeks. I'd rather go to Mexico.
I mean, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
She wanted moist cheeks in real life.
Yeah. So how was Mexico? Was it business or pleasure?
Or both?
It was definitely pleasure. It was a family vacation that was made up from last year because of the vid.
Dude, I was gonna say the vid
of the
vid. And it was amazing. It was literally dope.
Yeah,
I've never been to Mexico.
Dude, we live 2 hours away from it, so let's fucking go.
Oh yeah, you should definitely go to Mexico.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying.
Do we live next to like a fun touristy part? Like,
dude, I'm sure.
Probably not.
Dude, Mexico is just another country though, so that's what's fun about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to get my passport first. But no, I saw you eating, what were they, crickets?
Yeah, I believe they were crickets. I don't know. My dad, he like took us to this restaurant. I think it was like trying to be trendy. I don't know, but I think it's also a delicacy, but my dad ordered it. I didn't know what it was. And it came to the table and no one was eating it. And I was like, I'm going to just try it. Well, my dad ate it. He'll eat anything. And so I was like, I'm going to try it. It was salty.
But it wasn't bad.
No.
No, crickets are good, man. Have you ever had a cricket?
No.
I literally had worse in my mouth. Like.
Facts.
Yeah, I know you have.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen that you've recently been doing some Fail Army stuff with our buddy. Mm-hmm. How's that going? Our little buddy.
Fail Army is so fun. Okay, so we film it at this place called Jukin Media. If you heard of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I was first applying to, or when I was first decided that I wanted to move to LA, and I was living in Florida, and I was like looking online for like jobs, because my mom was like, you can't move to LA unless you have a job. And I'm like, I already have a job, but she wanted me to have a job in LA. Like, so I had like, you know, whatever. And I'm like, Mom, no one goes to LA with like a job unless you're a celebrity. Like no one just, you know, like that's not how it works. She didn't know. So I go online and I see a job for like social media at Jukin Media, and I apply for it. And like, of course I don't get the job, but the guy wrote the rejection letter, was so nice. Like it was the nicest rejection letter I've ever received. He mentioned he actually read my resume. Like he wasn't just bullshitting me. I'm like, wow, LA seems dope. And so, and he was like, you're going to do great out here or something. I was like, well, okay, well, guy from Jukin Media doesn't want me, but he thinks I'm going to do great. So like fast forward to like all those years later, and I'm like doing Fail Army with at Jukin Media, and I fucking made it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's sick. That's sick. Is it like an actual like how does that work? Do you guys film in like an actual studio? You're doing it with Tepper too, right?
I haven't. He wasn't there. It was just Zach.
Okay.
Tepper's too Hollywood.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't. What is this? I used to be in Team 10. God damn it.
I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah.
But dude, going back to the rejection letter, I just had a rejection letter, by the way, because I'm applying to jobs. They were like, we love your experience, but you're going to go a different way. I was like, okay. Yesterday, I was applying for jobs. They put up the same exact job on fucking Indeed. I was like, wow, just fucking hire me, dude.
I got a rejection.
You should apply as someone else's name.
I mean, that's illegal, I believe.
So the last rejection I got, I'm not going to say his
was on
name.
Tinder?
Nah, dude, I've actually been killing it on Tinder.
Brag.
I'm not going to mention his name, but it was the best rejection, and I couldn't even be mad at it.
Wait,
is this a competition now?
For?
Yeah. No. It was somebody to get on the podcast.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Can I tell you, I got a rejection letter from someone to be on my podcast before, and then they hit me back with like a dope ass job a couple months later.
Sick.
Yeah. So I asked this person to be on the podcast, and I name dropped. I used your name. I name dropped. And
my name?
Yeah. Yeah, because you'll understand. You'll
so confused.
Yeah. And he's like, "Hey, Vinny, that's rad. You're starting a podcast. I like the name and graphic. Thanks for considering me for a guest, but I just want to crawl in a hole though, and then smoke as much weed as I could find in that hole. Wait, does that mean the hole is full of weed, or do I have to venture out of that hole from time to time to get more weed? Maybe I should stock up on weed first and crawl into a hole. Regardless, I haven't been doing social media or interviews or podcasts lately. So-and-so forced me to do his by cornering me in a driveway. It was basically rape. Please don't rape me like he did. However, I will totally watch the heck out of your podcast, especially since it's with Rachel, because I could use any info I gather on her to try to belittle her in front of mutual peers next time I see her in real life. Good luck and sorry. I'm so very extra lame.
Dude, when you showed me that was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Oh my God, who is that?
I'll just bleep it out. I'll just bleep it, right? I can do that.
You can bleep it.
It was Dave England.
Oh my God.
When I read that, I couldn't be mad at all. You know, it was the best.
So funny. I love him so much. It hurts.
Yeah, he's great. We had the opportunity of working with him.
What do you say? You're trying to bleep this out. Why are you talking about it?
Yeah. Sorry.
You can't bring up a conversation about that person you're bleeping out.
Yeah.
And now we're keeping all that in.
Yeah. Wait, I don't think I need to bleep that out, right?
I don't fucking know.
I don't think so.
To bleep his name?
Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
Nobody's watching this episode anyway.
Oh, thanks, dude. Yeah, I found that really funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So while I was lurking through all your pages last night, I saw that you have a YouTube page, but no content.
Oh yeah.
What's that about?
Okay, so like I used to work on my friend's YouTube channel a couple years ago with like weed and stuff. And I got a bunch of views on doing videos like that. But I never personally figured out, it's not that I didn't figure it out. I just like never took the time to, honestly, all the stuff I've put up, I've archived because it's not good. And I don't know. I never really got into YouTube, and I question if I regret it. And it's yes, I do. But yeah, I just never figured out what I want to do with it. The goal is to put stuff on YouTube. It's just, I want it to be good content because there's so much shitty content on there. Like, I don't want to contribute to that.
Is LA pretty much back open as far as like venues?
It's almost open. It's not like full capacity, but it's about to be, I want to say in like a couple more weeks, like we're back.
Couple more weeks. Okay.
Rachel, is there anything that you would like to plug? Your Instagram, your YouTube with no content, Twitter?
Yes. Please follow me on YouTube. Maybe if I get more followers, that will inspire me to push out content. Also, my Instagram @WolfieComedy, @WolfieMemes, and that's the same on Twitter. I have a TikTok. It's just stand up. I'm embarrassed. I also like almost got banned. And
you're killing it on TikTok right now, though.
Am I?
Right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have a bunch of followers.
Maybe I do. I don't know. I just like, I don't like being censored, and TikTok will censor you.
Yeah, I know.
That's pretty much why I stopped posting on TikTok.
Yeah.
It's because of like what we do. It's just like there's no point.
I just posted a video yesterday, and I was talking about my encounter with a dominatrix.
Yeah, I knew that was going. Yeah, it's deleted. Yeah,
they muted it.
Of course they did.
Yeah,
bro, you can't talk about it. It's a kids app, guys. God.
Yeah,
it's for 12-year-olds. Yeah. Like, come on.
Yeah. And then they also, I think they muted one of a clip from the Street Bike Tommy episode.
Yeah, probably.
Dude, it makes me so mad because I put so much effort into my Instagram, and then nothing on TikTok.
The dumbest thing will go viral too, and you're like, that's all it took.
Yeah,
I saw a video of just like a person like making like a sandwich. They put their hand in a bucket of ketchup and then they just eat the sandwich. And I was like, that's a fucking.
And it had millions of views.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that same guy do that with like ranch. It's like
also that's a weird thing because like if one video goes off, then they have to do the same video, but different things.
Yeah.
Like, the dude did it with ranch. I think he did with other condiments, and it's like, that's so weird.
Their whole body's covered in it.
Yeah. It's like what the? It's so weird.
So uncomfortable. What
like,
a burden.
Imagine cleaning that up. I would hate to clean this fucking makeup off, and he's covered in fucking ranch head to toe.
Yeah, but how long does it taking that TikTok money?
Is there even TikTok money?
There is, the creator fund, yeah.
People are paying their like rents on that.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I mean, people do that with OnlyFans, but that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
You know, paying for porn rather than the 15-second shitty video.
Oh, speaking of porn.
Wait, whoa.
No, we almost just ended it, but I wanted to ask something. So you went to the Pornhub Awards or something.
Yeah. My friend, I was her date and she was nominated for Best Squirter.
Who is it?
That's sick.
Alexis Fox. She's amazing.
Alexis Fox.
Let's Google it right now. Jeez.
You guys should have her on.
Dude, sick. That would be sick. Can you hook me up? Well, with her on the guest? I mean, not. Did she win? Hold on. I'm looking
I'll send her your info.
Yeah, please do.
She knows a little bit about moist cheeks.
Yeah, I'm sure she does.
You're actually Googling her right now on Pornhub?
Alexis Fox, you said?
Jeez, you're an addict. This is an intervention. You jerk off way too much.
WX. Yo, stop blowing up my spot. Fuck, dude, I want to go to the Pornhub Awards.
I love how we're watching Vinny watch porn.
I know.
I'm not watching any videos. I'm just trying to look her up, dude.
Literally, you can do that on the off air, bro.
Well, I want to learn more. Okay.
God, like be professional. Holy shit. She goes, yeah, I have a porn friend. Like, oh, what's your name? Let's look her up right fucking now. Dude, be fucking subtle, dog.
I'll be on Twitter and I'm just like having my morning coffee, like reading, trying to tweet out jokes, and Alexis will cross my, and it's her getting rammed by like anally, like boobs flopping everywhere, and I'm just like sitting down for breakfast with my family, you know?
So we got to put the safe search on, like the safe mode on.
Yeah. I don't need
Twitter is unruly.
Yeah, Twitter is unruly.
Sick. Plug your shit, please.
Yeah. No, Rachel, thank you so much for giving us your time. It really does mean a lot to us. Guys, follow her on Instagram. Follow her on Twitter. Her links will be in the description. You guys have anything else you want to say?
Sorry, I didn't really say much, but thank you for doing all the talking.
Yeah.
Sorry I talk so much, you guys.
No, it, like he said, it makes our job easier.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. All right, guys, this has been another episode. You
just said thanks for having me.
Yeah. I'm so horrible at Zoom. Thank you.
No, it's okay. Guys, this has been another episode of the Moist Cheeks podcast with Rachel Wolfson. Follow her on everything. Links in the description. Guys, we also have a Patreon for you people that don't know. And we also, all of us have forbidden websites.
Kyler has the OnlyFans now?
No.
Oh,
so just me and Blazer and Damon, whatever his name is right now.
Yeah,
go check those out too, and follow us on Instagram. Later, guys.